Ricky Sosa, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's a,
Thank you for having me, actually. So thank you.
it's a pleasure, man. I think for all wrestling fans, at the moment with social media, I know a lot of my friends, you seem to be all over everyone's feed at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Especially with your entrance, everything going viral on pretty much every platform at the moment. Tell me a little bit about the origin of that entrance theme, because I'm quite interested when you started using it, but also where did you get the song from? Tell me about the origin of it.
So I started wrestling 4 years ago. So of my second year of wrestling, so it was 2023. I made one entrance with this song, but it didn't work well for me because it was difficult to get over. And then I debuted on the wrestling promotion KO Wrestling in France, and they asked me to enter with this song because like it will work for me because they're singing Sosa Sosa.
Mm.
And then I made my entrance there with that song. It worked very good. We did a show on a street and it worked well, so it went viral on Twitter. And then December, we had a show again, and that's the clip that went viral everywhere, and it worked everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. So yeah.
And it's interesting because, especially in today's day and age, entrance themes seem to be able to like change or catapult people's careers. I mean, if you look at even people in the mainstream, like someone like a Kit Wilson or something, just a new entrance theme can completely change the trajectory
Yeah.
of someone's career. And are you feeling that at the moment?
Yeah, I feel like people now actually know me a little bit. Like they know the wrestlers in Belgium. They know a little bit of the French scene. They know that there are some wrestlers over there that can wrestle actually, so that's cool. So yeah.
So you from Belgium, you wrestle a lot in France.
Yeah.
What's the sort of origin of your wrestling training? Where did you go to wrestling school? Where did you make those first steps?
So I started wrestling in like a local school called BYWS in Brussels.
Mm.
So it's a school where they also train Olympic wrestling, judo. So I also train all of these other sports.
Mm.
And then I went to train at PWH in Holland because I'm actually born in Holland, but I grew up in Belgium, so I'm very familiar to this country. And then last year I started training at Bodyzoe Wrestling in Belgium. So that's where I train actually. So cool.
So what made you take the step to start wrestling in 2021, right? So it's probably just after COVID. What was it that sort of pulled the trigger and made you think I want to do this?
To be honest, I played football before, and we had the COVID period, and everybody was home. I always been a wrestling fan, but I was watching more wrestling because I was home. I had nothing to do, so I was like, maybe I should try. I didn't know there was a school in Belgium, so when I saw that there was a school in Belgium, I asked them if I could train. And with the COVID and stuff, they were like, maybe next year. So
Mm.
then the year after that, 2021, COVID was over, and I started training, and that's where the journey started.
What's it like when you take your first steps into a wrestling school on the first day? I imagine it's a sport that has quite a big learning curve, and that first day might be quite daunting.
It was rough because, like, you learn how to hurt yourself, to be honest. My first day, I was like, bro, you're actually learning how to hurt yourself. And, as a big fan, I was like, oh, this shit hurts, but I love it. Uh, I remember my first training, I was very stiff.
Mm.
My neck hurts, my back hurt, but I loved it. So I always came back, and here I am.
And at this point, who are your sort of inspirations? I'm not too familiar with the sort of scene in Belgium, but are there any, you know, big stars come out of there in the past that you could sort of aspire to, or did you have to look elsewhere for inspiration?
Oh, inspiration in Belgium or
Yeah, in
overall?
Belgium, but also worldwide. Then, if there aren't many stars
I'll
in Belgium.
say when I started wrestling, I was a big fan of
Hmm.
Mike D. Vicho, now Mike the Ritter in WWE. I was a big fan of what he was doing because he's a huge man doing all these flips. Bro, it's so inspiring for me. And if we say worldwide, I would say Randy Orton because I love the way he wrestled, to be honest. I love the facial expression. I love the look. I love everything about that wrestler. So, yeah.
And if someone's watching this now, they haven't seen your matches, what kind of style can they expect from you? If they went onto YouTube right now, looked up some of your matches, what sort of style do you bring to the ring?
To be honest, I try to mix my wrestling moves.
Mm.
I do a bit of everything, but like they will kind of see a very athletic man, I will say, for my height,
Mhm.
uh, and someone that can lift people, you know. So yeah, a mix of high flying powerhouse stuff. So yeah.
Take me back. Do you remember your first ever match, and what were the sort of feelings like? Because going into training is probably scary enough, but having your first match must be terrifying.
It was so stressful. So I had my first match 2 weeks after, no, 2 months after my first training.
Oh.
So it was very early. I was very green, but I had to sprint in because someone got injured. So I, to be honest, I was very nervous because, to be honest, I didn't tell my parents I would start wrestling. So when I got the call of like, hey, you have to sprint in because someone got injured, I was like, oh damn. So I told my parents, hey, I'm gonna wrestle, so be there, you know. And they were very surprised because at first they didn't want me to stop football. They were like, keep going with football and all that things. But yeah, I uh choose my own way, to be honest. And I was so stressed. And I had like a 6 minute match. It was cool. So everything went well. God bless. Everything went well. Uh, but when I watched the match again, I was not even realizing I was in the ring. I was wrestling, to be honest. So yeah, it was a very cool experience.
And if you were so new at the time, you know, you'd only been training 2 months, what goes into how do you put that match together, having the limited experience? Was it very much caller in the ring, or was it pretty much mapped out in advance?
It was pretty much mapped out in advance, to be honest, because I was still very, very, very green. So
Mm,
we had to figure out something like a week before so I could get into the ring, you know.
mm.
So,
So far, on this podcast, I've only really spoken to guys from the WWE, and I haven't really spoken to anyone who's in the indie scene at the moment. Well, what is the indie wrestling scene like in Europe at the moment? Is it quite hot?
um, the indie scene in Europe is very hot right now. So you see that a lot of promotion are investing a lot in wrestlers, in talent, investing in big shows. The quality of shows is getting better. Shows are getting taped so fans can watch it again at home. So that's very cool. So yeah, the European scene is good right now, to be honest.
Have you wrestled outside of Europe at all in the UK or America?
So I've wrestled in the UK last month. I went to London, wrestled for Progress Wrestling. So it was my first experience outside of Europe. So yeah, but I've never been to the US or whatever.
Is the US something that, is on the bucket list of things you want to accomplish?
Yeah, for sure. I think that every wrestler, when they start wrestling, they want to wrestle to the US. So yeah, that's one of my accomplishment that I want to achieve.
Hmm. Now, you recently technically competed for a WWE sanctioned title, right? The WWE
Yeah,
was it the
yeah,
ID title?
yeah.
What was that like to know that you must technically be on the radar of, a couple of people in that company?
Damn, I was to be honest, I still couldn't realize it because it was like, oh, they actually know me, kinda,
Mm.
you know? I was like, oh, so maybe they're looking at me. So I was happy at the same time, but I was a bit nervous because now I have to do my best every time, you know?
Mm.
But overall, I'm very happy and I'm still going to work to get better every time, you know? But I was very happy and very blessed about that. So yeah.
And I recently saw a post online that Mark Henry was sort of speaking in support of you and kind of endorsing you. How does that feel? And how did that come about?
Oh yeah. Damn, that feels so good. So I woke up in the morning and I saw the tweet. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So the thing is, I met Mark Henry in August. So he came over to France. So there was the Clash in Paris weekend. So I was doing indie show that weekend. So he came in on the show and he saw my match. He gave me some feedback and he was very kind to me. He gave me a lot of feedback, so that was cool. And he already kind of told me that I have a bright future, so still have to work, but I have a bright future. So I was so thankful about that. And now he tweeted that, so I was so happy and very thankful for the support. So yeah, it's a
Yeah,
cool
it's
experience.
amazing. It's amazing. How do you feel at the moment with the support that is around? Do you feel like it's growing on a weekly basis? Do you feel like you're heading in the right direction of where you want to be going?
I feel like right now I'm in the right path.
Mm.
So things are getting better. And I feel like I just have to keep going and maybe one day I will achieve like bigger things. But I feel like right now I'm in the right path. I just have to continue grinding, continue wrestling and do some good stuff. And one day it will pay off.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What has been the sort of highlight of your career so far? Because you've had some great matches. I think you've wrestled Andrade as well, technically,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I wrestled
What's been your
Andrade.
highlight?
I wrestled Andrade last month. We had a cool match. I really enjoyed the match. Andrade was very happy. I also wrestled Jordan Oliver.
Mm.
He just signed with AEW. I wrestled El Fantasmo from New Japan. So I had some few names this year. I became WXW European champion. So it was one of my biggest achievements of my career. So that's cool. I did also GTG
Mm.
in March. That was also a good one. And yeah, I was supposed to wrestle Mustafa Ali, but unfortunately the
Oh.
show got canceled, so it will be for September maybe. So yeah. And yeah, the Jay Lethal as well.
Mm.
That was also cool. Had some good advices from him. So it's always good to share the rings with guys that have more experience to become better. So yeah, also grateful for that, to get some good experience.
Yeah, it's good momentum, and so going into 2026 now, do you have any goals this year you want to achieve? You want to tick off? What are your aspirations for this year?
I mean, I would love to more wrestle in the UK or something, have more dates over there and like traveling more with wrestling, that will be cool.
Mm.
And like now my goal is, the big leagues, but I would also love to do Japan. Uh and yeah, that's my goal for this year, to be honest. So
But you're certainly building the momentum. I mean, like I said, you're all over people's feeds at the moment. There's so much exposure. With the Mark Henry tweet, people have so much to say about you. So hopefully, at the end of this year, you're even on another level entirely, and
yeah.
we can get you over to the US and the UK. It'd be amazing to see.
Yeah.
I suppose one thing I'd like to ask you before we start to wind down is for our audience listening, watching now, if you could suggest one Ricky Sosa match for them to go and watch on YouTube, what is the match you would recommend they watch?
I would recommend them to watch my triple twit with Zoltan and Joseph Finek, because it was a match I just won my first big title and very big promotion, I'm
Mm,
gonna say. So that one was good. Yeah, I'm gonna say that match. Yeah.
amazing. And the name Ricky Sosa, I'm wondering, is there any connection to Scarface Sosa?
Exactly. Exactly.
Ah,
So me and my friend had, me and my friend were looking for nicknames, and I called him Jamal, so it was a cool name. So he called me Sosa. And we were like, Sosa from Scarface, that's cool. So maybe we have to find like a name just to put together, And we
mm,
found Ricky. So that sounds very good. Ricky Sosa. And then the day of my first match, I I didn't have choose a name yet, so they came over to me. So what do you want to call yourself? So I pitched other names, but they found it was very ugly. So when I said Ricky Sosa, they were like, "That's the one." And now still wrestle as Ricky Sosa, so that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
love it. And for people who are, they're enjoying the theme song, especially at the moment, is this song something that was a song in its own right and that you were a fan of before you were wrestling, or was it made sort of in conjunction with your entrance? What and who is the artist behind that song?
So uh the song came out 11 years before, and we just wanted to have a song that fits with my character, so we found that song. And like we don't have the rights or something, but with all that viral thing going on, the group texted me and we're like, bro, that's awesome, thank you, keep using our song, whatever, it's very good. So that's how everything went together. To be honest, so yeah.
Amazing. Well, man, I'm a big fan of yours. I'll be, supporting you all the way. I hope there's so many big things to come. Before you go, where can our audience find you on social media? Where can they find you on Instagram? How can they sort of look you up? Where's the best place?
So just Ricky Sosa on Instagram, and on Twitter, Ricky Sosa 508, and on TikTok, Ricky Sosa. So that's it.